So, the deleted scenes in episode 2.
You ever wonder? You're just getting right in there, aren't you, buddy?
You ever wonder about the deleted scenes from any of the prequel movies?
I wonder about the deleted scenes from pretty much all the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, episode 2, I believe, had the most interesting deleted scenes. Because
we got my favorite deleted scene ever in episode 4.
Anyways, there's deleted scenes where Anakin and Padme go to see Padme's parents on Naboo, which are very, very, very sweet, deleted scenes because it's Anakin meeting Padme's parents.
How long would they have been? How long would episode 2 have been if it had all these scenes?
It would have been probably about as long as The Last Jedi, because by that point, episode 2 was the longest Star Wars movie.
Nice.
But
is it still which one's the longest now?
Rise of Skywalker, yeah. No, but there were some deleted scenes in episode 2 with Padme and Anakin going to see Padme's parents. You know, her parents and Padme's parents and her siblings making fun of, Anakin's so cute, boyfriend kind of stuff.
You're cutting out, my friend.
Really?
Yeah, just a little bit. I think it might have been on my end. Just keep talking. I'll tell you if it happens again. Oh, and Lorenzo's here too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here.
So,
Hello.
yeah, that was one from episode 2, but there's one in the Phantom Menace where Anakin and Greedo are fighting, and Qui-Gon Jinn interrupts and is like, "Oh, don't worry about him. You know, karma will be a bitch."
Yeah, and then he says McClunky.
And then he says McClunky, and then he's
Did you guys see that on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
What? No, I didn't see that.
So
Nate, do you want to describe it?
So, George Lucas, the last edit to the Han shot second scene. So, George Lucas justified it once again with Greedo saying a word, McClunky, which means, "Oh, you're about to die." But like, it's still, firstly, it just it feels out of place. You know, the whole
Also, Nate, if you remember in that scene, you know how Greedo has subtitles, right?
Yeah.
And just for that one, just for his McClunky line, there's no subtitle. It's just saying McClunky.
Yeah, it's so out of place in the movie.
It's super noticeable that it was like edited in after the fact.
But like you expect, yes, I bet you have, and then the fireworks go off.
Yeah.
But then you just hear Greedo say,
it's like they're like, McClunky was funny. Let's make that even more prominent.
But I mean, like, George Lucas cannot justify adding something like, Greedo shooting first, and then have 1 year later have the main character slaughter children. I mean, like, really?
It's alright.
I don't know. The changes to the original trilogy I can go on for hours about because they're just so laughably bad.
Lorenzo, Lorenzo, real quick.
Yeah.
Do you hate the scene where they added the deleted scene with Jabba? Do you hate that scene as much as Nate does?
It's just the CGI in Jabba looks bad. I feel like if they would have had him maybe look like how he does in like Return of the Jedi, it would look really funny. Yeah, like Papa would have been fine. There's just a lot of CGI like that didn't really. Well, how do I say this? Age well in the original trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it now, like, yes, there are some things that we could do without, but there are some things that needed to be done to refurbish the movie, like resaturating the lightsabers. Yes, that needed to be done. Resaturating the laser blasts, making the music louder during certain scenes.
Adding
Those were
the
justified.
adding the Gungans on Naboo at the end of episode
Okay,
6.
that was kind of, that kind of just ruined the whole.
No, it was cool.
But and then also adding Ian McDermott as the Emperor in episode 5, that was 100% justified because the original Emperor looked horrible.
But what do you guys think about that they replaced old Anakin with Hayden Christensen?
That
It
also
was
is
kind of unnecessary.
It's kind of just, it's a little bit kind of justified because George Lucas explains it like this. That's the last
that's when
time
Anakin died. Yeah, right. I get
That's
that.
the last time you see Anakin as a Jedi. You know, I mean, yeah, Sebastian Stan was, kicked out of that scene forever, but he still plays.
Oh, no, Sebastian.
Yeah,
I got really confused for a second.
I did too. I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
That's his name, Sebastian Stan.
I didn't know that.
Sebastian Stan was the original Anakin. But he still plays Darth Vader unmasked.
What would have been funny if they just would have had just James Earl Jones just be Darth Vader and not question why he's black.
Yeah, that would have, you know what? Whatever.
Because James Earl Jones, he's a voice actor, but he could have pulled off just being Vader. It wouldn't have been weird.
I don't know.
It's been really funny.
Big guy.
I mean, no, just like
we all know David Prowse played Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like, actually played Darth Vader. And he said most of the lines in place of James Earl Jones when they were on the set shooting. The whole Luke, I'm your father, like that kind of stuff was actually 100% David Prowse did not say that on set. He didn't.
One of my favorite things about Star Wars is that it takes actors that are like not very well known and then makes them into stars.
Yeah,
like, the only big actors.
Then the
that
prequel
had
trilogy was like
Liam Neeson.
No, Samuel Jackson was very
He wasn't
big.
that big yet.
Yes, he was. Samuel Jackson was
still big.
huge. Yes, Samuel Jackson was a big name.
No, but he's not as big as he is now.
Like,
what are you talking about? Samuel Jackson is still big.
Yeah.
No, dude. No, hey, Lorenzo, that's not what I said. I said he wasn't as big as he is now.
Yeah.
No, Samuel Jackson has
still
a lot of great movies if you look up before.
I know, but
trilogy.
now he's even bigger because of that and because of Marvel.
Not because of Marvel, dude. He was in Tarantino movies. That's as big as you're gonna get.
Lorenzo,
Pulp Fiction
I'm not saying he wasn't big before that. I'm just saying he's even bigger now because of those two franchises.
He was the Harrison Ford. He was the Harrison Ford because Harrison Ford was already big before he was in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But what happened? So yeah, Star Wars has always done that. Like Christopher Lee and Liam Neeson were legendary actors by that point, but so were Alec Guinness and Peter Cushing.
What about
And Ewan McGregor was still, he wasn't well known, but before the prequel movies, he wasn't really in much of anything. And Natalie Portman was still pretty fresh, and so was Jake Lloyd too.
Yeah, but Jake Lloyd hasn't done anything ever after that because
he got bullied as playing Anakin.
But when Hayden Christensen came around, Hayden Christensen wasn't known either.
And I don't think anyone in the sequel trilogies was super well known.
Except Oscar Isaac after the first movie.
Oscar Isaac was... I've seen him in other movies before.
Yeah, but he's not
Force Awakens.
but he wasn't like a home name. Yeah. Like if you mention him to your parents, and they're like, "I know who that is."
So the year before, when you had Force Awakens come out, Oscar Isaac was in the movie. Then literally a year later, he was Apocalypse, and you didn't even know he was Apocalypse because he was Apocalypse. Sound the same.
He was Apocalypse,
which is
really
really
funny.
it's a weird casting, and I was like, you could have found someone better as Apocalypse instead of just getting Oscar Isaac, who is just literally in Star Wars,
Yeah.
a big movie to play in another big movie to play the villain that just like kind of got axed off.
Yeah.
Wasn't Ewan McGregor the villain in Birds of Prey?
Yeah, he was Black Mask, and he did it excellently. Like that's Black Mask.
I didn't see the movie because I didn't care and because I know it was going to be bad.
Like Black Mask is really, I think Ewan McGregor playing Black Mask is the closest depiction you're gonna get to comic book Black Mask, because Black Mask just doesn't give a shit, and that's how he is in the comics, and he is in the Arkham Origins. He just doesn't give a shit. He's a mobster. He basically has the power to do whatever he wants.
I mean,
and he knows no one's gonna stop him.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix was just ass. There's just no
boring.
Yeah, like I fell asleep during like I didn't even go to the theater. I just pirated it in my own home and I watched it. Like if that's the only movie I will admit to, like I didn't give a shit to see in theaters, and I was just like, I'm gonna watch it at home. I watched it, dude. That movie just kept putting me to sleep like every 5 minutes. There was nothing entertaining.
Did you guys ever? Were you guys ever scared of Were you guys ever scared of Darth Vader when you were kids?
No, I thought he was a fucking badass. I loved Darth Vader as a kid. I thought Darth Vader was really cool.
I used to think, in particular, like whenever he was in the whenever he's in like a dark area and then his like red lightsaber lights up, it didn't really scare me, but like I could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like
being in my room in the dark and then a red lightsaber lighting up.
And then TJ just gets slaughtered by the lightsaber. Like, so what is the new how should I say it? The High Republic, is that just basically the new term for Old Republic, or however they're calling it?
Right now, the Old Republic is still the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Just the High Republic is a certain era between the Old Republic and the prequel trilogy. It's like when the Jedi were at like the absolute height of their power.
Yeah, but isn't this basically just Old Republic?
Yeah, it's technically just Old
Do
Republic.
we know Yoda's backstory at all? Like, do we know where he came from?
Nope, and it's hopefully gonna stay that way forever and ever.
I mean, seeing how Mandalorian is going, can't really say ever and ever, because at least we're gonna probably learn about his species or whatever he's classified as.
I hope we learn what the species is called.
I hope they just don't reveal a species name. They just show that there's more of them than just like 3 of them.
Well, no, I would like to know the name because like we know what Chewbacca is.
Still, I mean, they spent how long not even revealing what Yoda's species was?
Did we know what Chewbacca's species was?
Yeah, we
knew
the
original.
We knew because it told you in literally it told you in New Hope like what he was called. Like Han Solo goes, you never mess with a Wookiee because they'll tear your arms off.
All right, I just didn't know. Well, we all know what the Sand People or whatever they're called, the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, we. I don't even know how they kept that like a secret for 40 years because Empire Strikes Back.
What
is going to be turning 40?
It already turned 40.
Yeah,
it turned 40 a few days ago.
Yeah, it literally turned 40 like 2 days ago. And
I'm really
Hey, I know you're gonna get mad at this, but I don't like Empire for some weird reason.
Why?
I just find it really because people talk so highly of it. It pisses me off. I'm like,
I know, I agree. I totally agree.
I can't stand Empire. It's very overrated in my opinion. After like just hearing
what the fuck are you talking about?
Because they're like, oh, the biggest
Revenge of the Sith is the most overrated movie in the entire saga now. It's but
it's fun.
but it had to grow its fan base though.
Yeah, it didn't just start with its fan base.
Yeah, like it literally had to get people to like the prequels. That's like the hardest job I think a movie had to do. Just get one movie to like an entire trilogy.
A lot of
episode
Revenge
3.
of the Sith is it's fun though. Like
Empire is fun. Empire's not.
I'm not saying Empire is bad. I'm just saying it's just people talk very highly.
Entirely overrated. for
It's
what
like-
it is.
Clearly, Revenge of the Sith is more overrated than Empire now.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I
that
wouldn't
wasn't
say
the
that.
case
I
for
wouldn't
40
get to that.
years.
Yes.
Yeah, and still, any like diehard Star Wars fan is only going to say, including like you, is going to say, "Oh, Empire's the best. There's
That's
never
be-
going to be a movie as good as Empire."
Well, I mean, technically,
Empire
there
splits
is.
the team into two groups. They don't get back together at all throughout the entire thing.
That's the whole point.
I hate that though.
That's the whole point. That's
My
the whole
favorite
point
part of the
second
original
chapter.
trilogy is Han and Luke like clowning
Mhm.
around together, and we don't get
That's
that
the
at
whole-
all in that movie.
It's the whole second. That's the whole second act of the story. How it always works. We don't see that in it. I mean, we kind of do see that in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, we do see it in Attack of the Clones.
But in Attack of the Clones, it's just executed very poorly. It's just executed horribly. But the thing
And
about
also, Yoda's freaking dumb in the original trilogies.
no, he's a fucking
Yoda's
wild-
not dumb. He just plays dumb to mess with Luke because he knows.
I don't
Luke
know.
is a
He does.
Jedi.
He does fight R2D2 with the stick. I'm not. he's
That's
not,
pretty
I'm not
fucking
exactly.
funny.
Yeah, like
I
that,
know, but also
that
it's
was the only part I think I liked is just when Yoda shows
Well-
up and he's just mine, and he just starts whacking away. At
I
fucking
know, but
R2.
like it kind of like
It's so
like if
fucking
you
weird.
watch the prequels first and then you see Yoda has evolved into this thing and you're like,
Because
oh,
dude, he's been a hermit for.
I know,
well,
but it's
I'm trying not to
sad.
defend Empire because I
gotta-
don't like. I think it's overrated, but it's just really
You- you
funny.
gotta-
'cause he's
you
just a
gotta
hermit.
look- You got to look at what George Lucas truly, or what people look at a true Jedi. A true,
Fuck.
It's
I don't know why
dumb.
that's so funny.
like,
Let him have it.
Looking,
R2.
I'm looking for someone. Looking, found someone you have.
It's so dumb.
I don't know. I really like Luke in Empire. I really like Han in Empire. Han is. I love Lando. Lando's fucking cool.
Lando.
Lando's awesome, but
I just think it's because everyone just holds Empire as the biggest reveal in movie history with the I
Well,
am
that's
your
not-
father
that's-
now. And
that's
there's
not-
like, I'm
that's
like, there's
not
like
even-
20
that's not
movies
e-
that kind
that's
of
not
have that a
even-
bit better now, and they
that's not
parody it
even-
all the time.
that's not even the best part of the film. The best part of the film is the duel between Anakin and Anakin. What?
That's
Darth
still like
Vader and
in
Luke.
that whole
Luke and Vader.
sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we get that better in the next movie.
Yeah, because there's more acrobatics and just
Luke is
just
actually
like,
a trained Jedi.
There's more acrobatics. That's not the fucking point. That never
Luke's a
was the
trained
point.
Jedi, so the battle is actually like fair. It's not just Darth Vader walking towards him.
I
It's
just
so boring.
I just hate. I do not understand. I do not understand the idea of more acrobatics means better movie.
I'm not just
never-
saying it's only acrobatics.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that fight scene is so bland. It's just Luke walking away from Vader the whole time
Yeah.
because he can't fight him.
he's fighting for his life.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, but
That's
why did he
the
go there
whole-
in the first place?
Why did
Because
he even?
Yoda did
he
warn
went there
him.
to try to kill Vader, and then he gets there. He's like, "Oh wait, I can't do that."
Yeah, because he was outmatched.
He knew he was. Why did he even think he had a chance? Though he knew he was
Because he
outmatched
thought he
before he
had a
went there.
It has all to do with that vision he had in the cave. Oh,
Which
I
is
can
one
beat
of
him
the-
in the cave. I can beat him in the cave. That means I
I
can
hate
beat him
that. I
in real
hate
life.
that scene. It is. It completely takes you out of the story. It's like, what the heck?
And not to mention, what was it? Fucking Rise of Skywalker tried to replicate that.
I know, and that was pretty bad too.
Basically, the new trilogy is just looking back now. It's just really just
A rushed, convoluted mess that had
because
no.
so they tried to do
planning.
A New Hope, the 2.0 in Force Awakens. They attempted to
Empire
maybe try and do
2.0.
Empire and
I mean, it kind of has the
Last
same premise.
Jedi. Last Jedi had like the Yoda aspect of Empire.
Luke was
Then they-
basically
It
Yoda,
felt-
but he
It
didn't.
felt. It felt more. It felt different from
But then
Empire
he-
in a way that it was.
But then
like,
he
No,
literally
yeah,
tried
I
to have
agree.
Yoda's character again, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to train you."
Nate, I'm not saying I hate Empire. I just don't think it's everything that everyone always says it is.
Well, a lot of people still agree it is one of the greatest movies to ever
I don't know. Out of
portrayed.
the original trilogy, I just kind of like Return of the Jedi a bit better.
Return of the Jedi is my favorite out of the original trilogy.
Return of the Jedi. I mean, I hold
I think
Return
the
of the Jedi
Ewoks
is
are dumb,
fun.
but other than that, I
The
like them.
Ewoks are dumb, but they have like a lot of character and they're really funny.
I like Return
they're
I
of
do
just
the
like
like
Jedi.
those. I do
they're
like
just
those
like
scenes with 3PO like pretending to be their god.
yeah, like that. Like that's something funny like that. It's just like
Like,
something like just really stupid that just doesn't
Like
make sense.
Return of the Jedi, I like.
Or no, like when they're trying to
in-
cook Han
it's
and
in
he's
my
trying to
top
blow out
5.
the torch.
Yeah.
It's
Depending
in
on
my
the
top
thing.
5.
Like that's funny.
It feels it's definitely like the weakest out of the 3, but not by much. It's really
I'd say it's the weakest. I feel like just the equal trilogy is just good overall because then it paved way for like, hey, George Lucas, hey, let's do a prequel trilogy. And then he was gonna do a sequel trilogy, but then Disney bought him, so
well that
that whole thing was
he
kind
did
of
he wanted to do a sequel trilogy, but he was like,
yeah.
"Oh, everyone's gonna hate me if I make a sequel trilogy, so I'm just
Well,
gonna let
I
someone
think he
else do it."
wanted to either way. No, he wanted.
Everyone hated him when he made the prequel trilogy, but now everybody loves the prequels.
Yeah, now it's
Even
like
my parents like the prequels.
I think the no, but this is a very weird thing that I would say about if Disney played their cards right. I think they should have let Ryan Johnson do the first movie in the trilogy and then have J.J. Abrams do the second movie.
Well, what
and
would have been
then-
different about it either way, though? Like you can't say it would have played out differently. It probably would have played out the same.
Well, I mean, firstly, they gave Ryan Johnson the middle chapter of a 3-part story, which
Though, but that's
You
what you
don't-
said. Like, was the
you-
plan though?
you don't make
Somewhere would have been different with J.J. Abrams playing it out, though.
I'm just saying there's a certain like flow to a 3-part story if you have a creative director, someone that completely thinks differently
The
from
whole thing was they
modern-
just should have let just J.J. Abrams just do the whole trilogy.
or
Even
that.
if they let Colin Trevorrow just do the final one, I feel like it would have at least been
There's
better.
like J.J. Abrams has a really weird way of doing movies. Like this whole mystery box aspect, yeah, it's cool, but it felt better for a movie that was a second chapter rather than a first chapter. You know what I mean? Because like J.J. Abrams is not interested in the mythology of a universe like Ryan Johnson is. Ryan Johnson's more interested in breaking down the mythology and making a movie off of that. J.J. Abrams has always been about technical aspect of film.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like maybe just because I don't know enough about, like, I've never really seen Ryan Johnson films, but compared to
They're
what people
very-
say about Knives Out compared to Last Jedi, it just sounds like two different things, which is like yeah,
Well,
he did
also the
this
fact
really
that-
good, but then
also
Star
the
Wars was
fact-
shit. It's like, how do you make
also-
your own movie good, but you try and not botch a trilogy, just like you just try and change it up because like he pulled
with
stuff
Knives
that
Out,
wasn't
he probably
canon.
didn't have as many rules to follow, though, right?
Yeah, because it was
Yeah.
his own movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
why.
could do whatever he
was
wanted.
kinda weird.
With Last Jedi, he
I
had
think
rules he
he's-
probably had to follow.
He I believe he has gone on record with his disdain of working with Kathleen Kennedy, even though they share same political views. Like
I don't know. He just,
Yeah.
I think it screwed it up when he just started pulling stuff from non-canon that didn't make sense, and it was like,
well, like,
so it was like at that
there's a-
point, it was like, okay, so what's canon and not canon? Is everything just back to being canon then?
there's
Because
a
then
dir-
she pulled that statement that was like,
Yeah.
oh, we don't have all this like novels and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
yes, you do. Yes,
Guys,
you
who do
do.
you think? Who do you think Palpatine had sex with?
I don't fucking know, and I don't fucking care, and I don't want to know because it's like, what the fuck?
I mean, that means Sheev had sex.
Well, yeah. Anyways, like, there were deleted scenes from The Last Jedi that should have been included in the original cut of the movie. And this just goes back to like right now there are people petitioning for the 4-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith.
There's a 4-hour cut of Revenge
Yeah,
of
there's
the
a
Sith.
4-hour cut.
There's a 4-hour cut of
I
Revenge
mean,
of the
hey,
Sith.
if we got the Snyder cut, I'm pretty sure the internet can get
It's
the.
freaking
There's a
massive,
4-hour
dude.
There's a 4-hour cut of The Phantom Menace. There's a 4-hour cut of Attack the Clone. There's like you looking at films, there is always a cut that is incredibly long. And once they get that rough cut done, that 4 to 5 to 6 hour cut completed, then they start squishing it down, and then they start doing reshoots to fill in gaps, and then boom, you have a final product which is 2 to 3 hours long, which makes sense. That's how movies are made. That's Zack Snyder does it. And I have no.
Well, Zack Snyder, there's a reason why his cut didn't make it first, but now we got it. So
I actually do not have high hopes for the Snyder cut.
Well,
I really don't. I do
It's
not have high hopes for the Snyder cut.
Lot of stuff. So remember when you watched Justice League with us, right, Nate?
Yeah.
So you remember the part where Wonder Woman is explaining like why Steppenwolf came to Earth and like the mother boxes.
Yeah.
And it shows him like with all the ships. Apparently that whole scene was re-edited because Darkseid is supposed to be in that scene and just like, literally like killing people. Like it's literally supposed to show Darkseid, but DC cut it out completely. Like they just stripped it.
Oh, because they wanted to Marvel it. They wanted Darkseid to be the end game.
And there's a lot of characters too that were supposed to be in the Snyder cut that got
It doesn't sound like a bad idea. Having Darkseid be the villain in a later film makes more sense than having him show up in the first one.
But Thanos did.
Thanos showed up in the first one, yeah, but only for like
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
And it was just like because they did it right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's something about putting too much in the audience's face at one time. And that's just one of the things that just bogs down modern movies.
Because Snyder just likes to make a lot of he likes to do like long cuts of where, because only in the movie we saw, he only did 25% of it. He didn't even do the whole movie. It was mostly just
Whedon did 75%, and that's the other
mostly
thing.
Whedon, and that's where you kind of lose when switching with directors, like how Episode 9 didn't really balance out the way people wanted it to, but kind of still did it for me.
I got a question for you guys. What do you think about out of the 3 trilogies, which one do you think has the best score?
Probably that's really hard to say.
What do you mean, like best score?
I love
best music. Best.
Oh, I would say
the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
I would say the prequel trilogy. There are a lot of tracks in the original trilogy that I love a lot, like the Return of the Jedi, when Luke is about to jump in the Sarlacc pit and get his lightsaber. That whole sequence is that
I really like Palpatine's theme.
And the whole sequence where Luke is just like killing people on Jabba's barge. That is one singular song.
Yeah, I know.
And the assault on the first Death Star with the X-Wings. That's another really good song. Yeah, that's another really good song. But the prequel trilogy kind of just I like here's how a YouTuber describes it. So I watched Hello Greedo, and I don't think it was Hello Greedo or if it was someone else. I think it was some movie reviewer talking about it and talking about the score in the prequels. He was like, John Williams looked at these movies and he's like, all right, we gotta get some tunes down here, you know, like we gotta make this more bearable to watch with the music.
What do you guys think is like the best scene in all of Star Wars?
Probably the Twin Sons.
You think so?
No,
what do you
no
mean,
dialogue.
like the best looking scene, or just the best
The best, like the most impactful scene, I guess. There's a lot to choose from. You could choose the binary sunset.
The binary sunset at the end of at like in any point, you know. The Rise of Skywalker one is still like, if you just block out the whole Rey Skywalker thing.
I will say,
look at that last scene. It's like, okay, yeah.
I do say I do like I like the end of of Rise of whatever the 7th movie's called. I'm blanking.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Yeah, that one. Thank you.
Force Awakens.
I like the ending scene where she holds the lightsaber out to Luke.
Now, funny, there's a really interesting story that is brought about when filming that scene. J.J. Abrams really wanted Luke levitating rocks and stuff and meditating.
Yeah,
that sounds cool.
It was Rian Johnson's request to not have Luke be doing that. Just have Luke just stay staring at.
Nate, you're cutting out.
You're being a robot.
Fuck, what's going on?
It's back to normal now. I think it just happens occasionally.
No, but Rian Johnson had said to J.J. Abrams, please don't make it over the top.
We know why though. My absolute favorite scene though. I know I say this a lot to you guys, but I love the battle on Mustafar when their two lightsabers clash and the lava shoots up behind them.
That's a really good shot.
That one, that's just
the part
visually appealing.
The part where they're holding, they're like their arms are grasping each other.
That entire scene is probably section is probably my favorite thing in all of the Star Wars movies is the Battle of Mustafar. I think that
even though it drags on for too fucking long.
Yeah, I know, but like I like the entire time. I think it's incredible.
I think one of the things that a lot of the things in the prequels just George Lucas liked to drag things out for too long. And that whole fight should have lasted half the amount of time that it did. Honestly.
Yeah, but I like the fight. So
like, I don't know.
It's a good fight.
It drags on for too long, and whenever you watch the movie over and over and over again, like, please just get to the point. Just get to the fucking end of the fight, please.
Yeah, but that's like,
I think I don't really agree with that, Nate. I like the fight how it is.
It's just so much unnecessary
stuff. Although you are a Empire apologist, so I guess I understand.
I am not it's not being called an Empire apologist. It's called just liking Empire.
Sorry, you're a Star Wars Gen 1er, my bad.
But
Star Wars.
Like, at least there are some points in the Anakin versus Obi-Wan fight that, is good. I just feel as if it, like, the whole part where they're on top of that broken part of
I love that Tarzan part. It's awesome.
It's like, why? What's the point?
What's the point of Luke walking slowly away from Vader for 15 minutes?
Because it didn't
need to be that long.
the fight lasts for half the amount of time that Anakin and Obi-Wan's fight lasts.
No, it doesn't. It's because Anakin and Obi-Wan's fight keeps cutting back to a different fight every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not actually that long when you look at it just by itself.
Well, it's the same thing with
Because you got to remember, there's still Palpatine and Yoda are still duking it out too.
Yeah, so we're
But that-
seeing
and
two
also-
fights at a time. That's why it feels so long. Their fight isn't. It's going back and forth between them.
the first fight between Yoda and the Emperor is only during the first half of Obi-Wan and Anakin's fight.
I know, but the
Yoda-
first half
Yoda-
of Obi-Wan and Anakin's fight isn't really like the true fight.
It's just them talking, and then they're gonna go at it.
I don't know. I
Plus,
just
you have to remember, it's like, I'm not saying it's like, I guess it's like a way more emotional fight. Because
Yeah, like this is what we've been waiting to see for like 40 years or whatever, not 40, 20 years or whatever. Is Anakin and Obi-Wan, like, is how Anakin becomes Darth Vader. This scene needs to be
Anakin-
long so you can see his like.
Anakin becoming Darth Vader happened the moment he started killing younglings. That's kind of just really, I'm just gonna be honest there. That's really when he became Darth Vader. I honestly do not like the idea of flashiness just to get to something as simple as, oh, Anakin didn't jump high enough. That's how the fight ends. Think about it.
The fight ends because Anakin's arrogance gets him freaking killed. It's not just that. It's because he's blinded by all of the hate and anger inside of him, and he doesn't think about what he's doing for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
it's cool to see Anakin literally, like, he is on the brink of beating Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan is not as powerful as him. But Obi-Wan isn't. But it's basically the same thing as him versus Luke, but except for Obi-Wan's actually fighting back, and it's impressive to watch. It's not just watching Luke scurry away from Vader the entire time.
There's a difference between Luke scurrying away from Vader
and Obi-Wan defending himself like an actual man.
Like, he's fighting for his life. Luke fights for his fucking life during.
So does Vader. So does freaking Obi-Wan. What are you talking about?
And it's just I don't know. There's a certain appeal to it. Like, this Darth Vader does not have any mercy towards his son. And
he doesn't have any mercy towards Obi-Wan either.
But no, and then when you get to the end of the fight in Empire, when Luke decides, oh, I'm not going to take my father's hand. No, I'm not. When he falls and you see Darth Vader lower his hands and look down, you don't know whether Darth Vader is like, oh, I failed, or, well, shit. Luke did something, my son did something that I couldn't do in the past. It's always been about the characterization and the parallels between.
It's
Anakin
also a possibility
Skywalker.
that he's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you don't see it in his face. You do not see whether he likes to chase Luke like this in Empire. You just see.
I think you're reading too much into Empire.
Yeah.
I don't think at the time this was even like on their mind. I think they didn't have any of the prequel stuff planned like this.
Yeah.
Even
you gotta remember, like, even the first, like, just New Hope just makes Star Wars just sound very differently when you hear, like, because the thing was, it was just they tried to seem like Darth Vader was just like, or Darth Vader and Anakin was just two separate
Hold
people.
on, real quick, Nate. Let Lorenzo say
they
his
tried
piece.
they tried to make like Darth Vader and Anakin just sound like just two different people. Because when I rewatched, I was like, holy shit! They just tried to make like when he says like, oh yeah, your father was a great father, but was killed by Darth Vader. Like they just make it seem like two separate people. They didn't even think about him being Luke's father yet.
Lucas had never intended
Yeah,
Empire to actually happen.
Exactly.
But
So,
when
but
but when
exactly, Nate. So why would when he lowers his hand, he's probably not thinking, "Oh, my son is so much stronger than me," because they did not have that planned out. It was just okay, that happened, kind of lowering his hand.
at the same time, this
You're
is
reading
right
way too
after
much into it.
I still think that watching the movie, if you watch the movie, if you watch the movie without the prequels and you rewatch it again, knowing that yes, Darth Vader is Luke's father, no prequels, just the first two movies. You look at that, the whole fight. Luke is fucking pissed at Vader in the first place. All right, Luke is fucking pissed because he wants to save his friends. Firstly, he also wants to avenge Obi-Wan. Secondly, so he's going out to fight Vader on the terms of fuck this dude. He killed my first mentor, and he's torturing my friends. All right, what's Anakin? What's the difference between what is the? It's about more about the lengths that Luke will go to save his friends. And Yoda always is like, Yoda says this: if you take the quick and easy path that Vader did, you will become an agent of evil. And what does Luke do? Luke decides to take the quick and easy path, and he immediately regrets it. Anakin doesn't get to learn his lesson until 20 years of his life go by.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the characterization in the prequels.
So what you're saying is Luke got lucky.
Yes.
So that's a good movie because Luke is lucky.
Yeah. I mean,
That's dumb.
not exactly, but there's a difference between good characterization and just poor and like describing characters in the prequel films without the use of Clone Wars characterization. Just try and describe these characters. I'm just saying. Queen Amidala. How do you describe Queen Amidala as a character?
Call her Padme.
Yeah.
Like it just goes to show about I like good writing. I just like good writing. I prefer good writing over flashiness. I just prefer good writing.
You heard it here first, folks. Nate prefers good writing.
Good writing.
And I will always stand by that fact.
Dude, but okay, Nate, shut up for a second. You've talked for like 80 minutes.
Movies can be flashy. Okay? Movies can be flashy. Endgame has proved that you can actually make a flashy movie and have good writing.
Well, that's just because the Russos know how to direct a film.
George Lucas doesn't know how to direct movies.
Oh, wow.
He never knew how to direct a movie. He was not a good director. He never was. All of the changes,
But you like New Hope?
New Hope is a weird situation because
bullcrap.
everybody on set told George this is not going to work.
But then it worked.
Yeah, then it worked, which was funny.
No, but I'm going to take it a step further. The actors who had more experience, Alec Guinness, Peter Cushing, Harrison Ford, told Lucas, just follow our lead and we will make this movie bearable to watch and probably make it better than what.
Well, it's not like, that was his first movie he was ever directing.
Yeah, I mean,
like that'd be stupid or something. Like it was his first movie.
Actors have to put a lot of trust into their directors. And when there's no trust, the movie will just end up being mediocre. Because the only thing George Lucas would say on set as a director is faster, more intense. What does that even mean? You don't.
It's faster and more intense. Be more intense in acting.
But do you do that during a scene where it's supposed to be slow, where the tension is supposed to build, and they're whispering to each other? No, you don't do that. That's not acting. That's just doing what the director tells you, which is why there's always actors on set that question the director's choices.
Mm-hmm.
There's always been that.
I like how much more the prequels made than the original movies.
What's funny is even the new sequel trilogy, I don't even think crossed $1 billion. Did one of them at least hit $1 billion at the box office or no?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure The Force Awakens did. And so I think The Last Jedi did too, and so did Rise of Skywalker. Let's look this up.
Because I don't think this. I think the sequel trilogy as a whole crossed $1 billion, but I don't think the separate movies crossed $1 billion.
Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker, box office 1.74 billion.
Okay.
Box office Last Jedi 1.32 billion. Force Awakens. The Force Awakens made 2 billion in box office. So, all in all, yeah, you know, they made $4 billion in box office, which, you know, isn't bad. The entire trilogy. How much did So for adjusted inflation, New Hope.
I like you know what I like?
You gotta keep in mind it was the 70s.
You know what I like about Empire? Empire has a lot of parallels to New Hope.
Well, that's just Star Wars.
I know, but like the freaking Lando is pretty much the same as Han in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Except Lando doesn't get introduced until like what, halfway through the movie.
Yeah, I know, but he's the scoundrel who helps them, but then he abandons them, but then he has a change of heart and comes back to help them again. Like, great, good job.
So,
you did your own very creative idea. I can't believe Luke gets knocked out in the wilderness.
So lifetime adjusted for inflation, New Hope got $1.63 billion in box office. But back then, that would have been about $775 million in 1977. Empire.
Please tell me you're gonna download Call of Duty World War II on your PS4.
When I get my
hard drive. When is this supposed to come in?
It should be coming in soon.
Ooh, nice. What they're also saying, apparently, I guess Spider-Man might be a free game. I don't know.
Oh, that makes sense. No, but like,
no one knows yet if it's gonna be free or not. This is what someone said. They're like, oh, because this one got leaked. Usually it leaks if like the other one is true on the website. So someone I think was either saying Star Wars Battlefront 2 or Spider-Man is going to be free. So we're going to probably see a resurgence in Battlefront 2 if it's free.
So
I like how destroying the Death Star basically did nothing.
Both times it didn't do
Both
no
times.
jack shit. No, actually 3 times it didn't do
They
jack
make like a
shit.
big deal about, we're destroying the Death Star and that'll end the Empire, and then it doesn't.
Destroying Starkiller apparently didn't do shit.
So
That's what's stupid about the whole fucking
so the worst.
That's my problem I have with Last Jedi. Just like
Okay, like one thing that I would have done differently is not have the movie take place minutes after The Force Awakens.
yeah, because what was that? I don't think A New Hope did. A New Hope is like
2 years after.
Yeah, a few years after fucking.
Each of them were 2 years apart from each other.
Because I think it was like like a month
Return of the
or so after the Battle of Yavin 4, was it? When they were evacuating, so it wasn't that long.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi took place like a few months after Empire.
No, I'm talking about A New Hope going into Empire. It wasn't that long.
A New Hope was a year or two after.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Last Jedi is like
before.
Yeah.
Like Last Jedi, they didn't even say like what was the year difference. It was just like, oh hey, it's happening right after.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Ryan Johnson specified like what was the time frame. Maybe he didn't. I just didn't hear, but
I don't know.
no, he didn't.
I don't know. I think Star Wars is a very fucking incredibly volatile franchise now. I just think that now because really
Disney literally just sees a dollar sign with it. At least Marvel, because Kevin Feige wants full control over it. That was the deal.
The two good movies in the Disney Star Wars were the ones that weren't even part of the Skywalker saga.
AKA Solo and Rogue One.
Yeah.
Two decent movies. I don't know if I'd call them good.
Rogue One was good. You can't say Rogue One was bad.
I love both those movies.
Yeah, you can't really like Solo. I love, but like it's kind of because of like the same thing what happened with the directors. It kind of got like messed up, which is not Ron Howard's
They revealed Darth Maul and then do nothing with it
because it was supposed to be a trilogy, but then because it underperformed, Kathleen Kennedy axed it.
Kathleen Kennedy was like, "Oh, Solo's failure is the fault of straight white men."
That's not at all what that meant, though. It was because like straight white men are the one that keeps the box office rolling, honey. It wasn't because it was a fail. It was because it got lost in director's hands. We should have got the Phil Miller and Lord cut, but you said it would have been too weird.
I mean, Ron Howard did his best trying to
fix it. I mean, but it was there's nothing wrong with it. It was the guys who made Into the Spider-Verse. That's the funny thing is the movie would have been weird no matter what.
I don't know.
Not like weird. Like it would have been like a cool weird. Like we would have seen like a side of Star Wars like we've never seen if they would have directed.
Yeah.
Like that's what like people mean by like it would have been like weird and cool. Like it just would have been like a unique kind of Star Wars from like we've never seen before. But Kathleen Kennedy was like, nope, too weird. Get out of here. Ron Howard, get in here and fix this shit.
We could have seen Dathomir on.
Yep, I think that's what was supposed to be in it.
That would have been so fucking cool.
But you know, she said nope, too weird. Axed it, which it's.
I mean, it could still very much happen.
I mean, people are crying on the internet, and again, the internet can redesign Sonic and get the Snyder cut.
Yeah,
anything is possible now. At this point, with the internet, I mean, basically, the internet controls everything. If it wasn't known to Disney, Warner Brothers,
so
they basically control what happens in film franchises. Except Marvel. Marvel doesn't care what the internet says. They don't give a shit. Marvel doesn't give a shit when it comes to internet cryouts. They don't give a shit because they know they can make a good movie and people will see it.
So
like Black Widow, do you think people are gonna complain? Like they don't care. Kevin Feige knows because you want to know why? It's a prequel. It's gonna have nothing to do with the new phase, so he's not gonna give a shit.
I don't get why that's even. Why is it even in the phase 4? Why isn't it
because
just
it's gonna set up Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
Thunderbolt Ross, like getting everyone like for that team.
Oh, okay.
Because what's her name? Is it Iron Mistress or something? And Taskmaster are the first two he's gonna go and recruit, basically. because he's supposed to be the plot of the movie. I don't know, Nate. Do you want to hear it? Because I already know. Like,
I
I
mean,
didn't give a shit about it, so I was just like, it's a prequel. How much is it gonna really like?
I kind of want to see the movie for itself.
Well, I mean, again, this is all like not true yet.
Speculation.
Yeah,
I mean,
so it's basically the whole thing she's after is, of course, shutting down the Red Room.
yeah.
It's like, but most importantly, it's a DNA, which is Steve Rogers' DNA again, playing a big part. And Thunderbolt Ross can apparently. Here's what they're saying can happen with Cap's DNA. That's why what's his name is now, well, Sam Wilson, but U.S. agent is now technically Captain America because apparently he can control people with the super soldier DNA and the fucking, what is it? Can't think of like what's the name is, like whatever, like the Russian spy Red Room DNA. I guess they merged it together and they can successfully control an army. And Thunderbolt Ross wants that because he couldn't control the Avengers for the life of him, and that's what pissed him off in Civil War was he couldn't control the Avengers.
Yeah.
Because Cap just wouldn't listen, and that's what made him pissed off at Cap, and why he made Captain an enemy, because Captain America didn't want to listen. So Thunderbolt Ross trying to make his own team, and he's gonna brainwash him with DNA,
Yeah.
and then that's what's gonna lead into Phase 4 and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Well, okay, so yeah.
Because again, that's why we see U.S. agent, if it is true, as Captain America, because Sam Wilson doesn't want to abide by Thunderbolt Ross's rules and doesn't want to take the super soldier serum because Thunderbolt Ross keeps edging him, but the government's like, if he doesn't want to take it, he doesn't want to take it. And then he says, well, then you need to get a new Captain America. Because apparently the events of Endgame are what basically give Sam and Bucky a pardon, and they kind of like help out in the government. Like they're kind of just like, I don't know if they're building the new team or what they're doing, but they're just trying to clean up like stuff like after Endgame. And the government's allowing them to help, but Thunderbolt Ross is pissed off at it. Like it's just like Thunderbolt Ross is trying to like be like an evil Nick Fury, you could say. Yeah, that's what it's trying to be, and it sounds cool. Yeah,
and Nick Fury's off doing. I think they're going to be introducing Sword.
Well, he's off in space at the moment. Yeah, he's off in space.
He's going to be doing Sword. But here's a really interesting thing. You know, we've been talking about extended cuts of movies.
Yeah.
There is an IMAX cut of Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Which cuts out a lot of things because at the time IMAX wasn't as optimized yet.
Yeah.
But this scene, they had to cut out I think they had to cut out 30 minutes of the film because the amount of time that an IMAX film could last would be for the film was 2 hours. So there's a list of things that they deleted. So they deleted the meeting with Palpatine after the assassination attempt at the beginning, and they cut out poor Jar Jar at the elevator part. There he's like, Obi.
It's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, they took out that. They cut out small parts before the Coruscant chase. Anakin levitating the orb and you know the whole.
I gotta rewatch episode 2. I don't remember half of this stuff.
The whole point where it's he's Obi-Wan's as powerful as Master Windu and as wise as Master Yoda, and Obi-Wan and Mace and Yoda talking about Anakin. You know, there's a list of things that they took out. Like Boba turning the Slave One to fire at Obi-Wan. They took that out.
Oh. Fire, Dad. Get him, Dad.
It's on it's when they're on Camino.
Yeah.
Fighting.
That's how I remember it.
They took out anything with Bail Organa.
Oh.
They took out meeting Owen and Aunt Beru. Or I say Aunt Beru for some reason. Yeah, they take out the library scene.
Oh, the library scene was kind of cool.
Yeah, man, Jocasta's the best Jedi.
Huh.
Oh, they took out the fireplace scene. Thank God.
Fireplace scene?
The fireplace where Anakin's like, "I'm haunted by the kiss that you never."
I love
you
that
should-"
scene. I don't know what you're talking about.
God, thank
It's
God
so
they took
People
fun.
that
must
out.
really. Sorry, I'm like playing COD World War II because it was free, and apparently
But
people just really bias at this game.
But you know, they cut out a good amount. They cut out like a good chunk of the movie. Jesus Christ,
Probably a good hour.
like 30 minutes about. I think.
Do you guys
I would-
think a movie can be so good that it's just boring to watch?
Um,
No, not really. If it's a good movie, you want to rewatch it.
I mean, a good movie that's good to watch, but it kind of gets boring is probably Suicide Squad. Because I can watch it like perfectly fine and be like, oh yeah, it just starts like after you see it a few times, you're like, wow, this movie like moves very slowly and gets to the plot kind of quick. But do I do I hate Suicide Squad? No, I don't hate it. I just think there's a lot of like plot choices that they could avoid doing, which was weird because they brought villains in when villains weren't set up yet, or most villains like weren't there, and it was kind of weird because all we knew about were heroes in the DC universe, and we didn't know about like half these villains or where they came from. But then it kind of like introduced them. Just like how Justice League was. Justice League, like the cut, TJ, like how me and Kyle are telling you, like this has like way more to do with I think Cyborg. It has way more to do with him, way more to do with Flash, and way more to do with Aquaman. Because
Yeah,
we're supposed to see William Dafoe was supposed to be in Justice League 2 as Falco, but then they cut him out.
I just think it's dumb that they freaking they rushed these movies so fast to have an Avengers style movie that they introduced 3 of the main characters in the movie.
Mm. Well, yeah, that's because how do I say it? Like what I just said, like it was supposed to like be really in depth with the 3 that just got introduced was Aquaman, Cyborg, and Flash. Like we were supposed to see like a whole high school like 10-minute, like 10-20 minute, like almost maybe like 30 minutes of like Victor Stone like as like either was it a college kid or a high school kid still before he'd be like and was supposed to show the accident too. Like a lot was cut out that should have made that like that theater cut because there's literally shots of just like that look beautiful and cool of Zack Snyder filming was like of Victor Stone playing football. Like we could have got like a whole like cool like little like I forgot if he went to Metropolis or Gotham City. One of the two. He went to one of those high schools and then the accident happened because he got pissed off his dad and then it blew up and made him cyborg. But no, the Flash we were supposed to see like with Iris West. We were supposed to see him saving Iris West. Aquaman was supposed to be like how he was introduced, but a little more tacked on was him talking to Falco about like, I don't want to be a hero anymore. This, that. Why do people keep relying on me? We were supposed to get more of Mira. A lot of we were supposed to get Ryan Choi. He's basically the Atom, or like the second Atom. Green Lantern. We're supposed to get a lot of characters with a lot of screen time that just got cut out. But yeah, that's
I'm sure
that.
I didn't say it won't be better than the.
It's gonna be a bit better than it though. Than what we got at least. It's gonna be better. Oh, we were supposed to actually get the black suit Superman with the long hair.
Cool black man.
Yeah, we're supposed to get like the mullet one. It's like we were supposed to. You really Zack Snyder was gonna spoil us with his theater release. Like, but then his daughter died, so he had to leave. It's not like you can blame him or Warner Brothers. They just needed a director, so they're like, "Hey, we'll get Whedon to give it the old Marvel Avengers treatment. Let's see what he could do." And it didn't work out the way they thought because you can't bring comedy into a world that like with their characters are very serious.
Mm-hmm.
It just
I heard that like Ben Affleck
it doesn't.
was.
Ben Affleck is re-signing for it.
No,
He's
I heard that Ben
renewing his
Affleck
contract.
was. I heard that Ben Affleck was drunk during most of that, or something like that.
No, he was drunk during Batman v Superman.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I thought it was Justice
No,
League.
so before Justice League started filming, that's when he started his rehab again.
Oh,
Yeah, Batman v Superman. He was when I tell you, like, he was hammered,
hammered.
but like still like worked out and was like looking like ripped. Like you don't believe it in Batman v Superman, and that's what caused him to kind of drop the Batman role. Was he didn't want to, because he was on board with Matt Reeves for the Batman. He was gonna direct and
we don't know.
Produce it.
We don't even know what was gonna fucking happen with that now, because it's like,
oh, that's still happening. They didn't cancel
really?
it. Yeah, they didn't cancel it. It's still filming. It's picking up like this week.
Oh
It
shit!
just the release date got delayed to like October,
Oh.
so it's gonna be like a Halloween themed like Dark Knight movie, which is gonna sounds really much cooler than it releasing in the summer.
Sounds really much cool.
Because it's supposed to be the is it supposed to be the long Halloween storyline anyway? So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. You know,
But,
honestly, yeah.
But no, so Ben Affleck was supposed to kind of like direct with Matt Reeves this Batman movie, and he was gonna produce it too. And Matt Reeves and him were on board. Everything. Ben Affleck had this like his own script done, and Matt Reeves loved it, and so did Warner Brothers. But I think Ben Affleck was sitting there one day, and his buddy goes like, "What's wrong?" He goes, I like this role. It just Batman v Superman kind of threw a wild thing at me because he was divorced, then started drinking, then started, So like it was really like the divorce that kind of killed Ben Affleck when he was doing Batman, but he just drank on the side. But someone goes, "Will you be happy if you play Batman again?" He goes, "Well, yeah, I like this role. It's pretty fun. It's not like it's a bad role." He goes, "It's pretty cool." But someone goes, someone just said, "I don't want to see you hurt yourself," and that's when they said, "Oh, like Warner Brothers kicked him out." No, he just talked. He goes, "Look, after I'm having second thoughts. If Matt Reeves wants to use my script, he can, or if he wants to rewrite it, I'm not going to get mad." He goes, "I still want to." He goes, "I still want to produce it though." He goes, and they still let him producing it. They're letting him produce it. I think.
You see, I don't have a problem with Ben Affleck being Batman.
Yeah, just a lot of people don't like him for some weird reason. It's like, no,
There's-
he's like probably I like Bale, but like compare him to Affleck. Like Affleck beats him out.
okay.
Affleck beats out Bale.
I don't know. There's like a weird way I would have written or had an outline for Zack Snyder's like whole Superman and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I seriously believe that if they just started with strictly Gotham and then expanded into that whole branch of DC, it would have ran so much better. Because Batman is just such a dick in Batman v Superman for no reason.
Well, no, because he doesn't. Okay, so you're telling me if you were a guardian of a city, let's just say you're Batman, and an alien shows up and you don't even know who he is, you're just gonna trust him? That's what Batman was trying to say. He's like, that's what he was trying to tell Alfred. He's like, oh, so you're just like, like you're in my position. You're just gonna trust this guy and you don't even know who he is? Like, at least you gotta have some precaution and like some like plan ready in case he goes rogue. And that's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to prove either prove Superman was on our side or not on our side. And it makes total sense if you watch the Ultimate Edition. That's why that's the true cut you have to watch of Batman v Superman. The theatrical release is good, but it's just very.
And then he goes,
it's a lot of stuff is cut out. Yeah, a lot of stuff is cut out of the theater release. That's why I made TJ watch the Ultimate Edition, so like nothing was cut out, and he understood like what the story was.
I still
even Steve said it. CJ like TJ, if you're gonna watch Batman v Superman, you watch the Ultimate. Like you watch the 3-hour cut. Even Steve said it. He goes, and I like that cut. And I'm like, yeah, everyone likes it because it makes more sense. I don't even think that was supposed to happen. I think just Warner Brothers added it.
It's so dumb. I love it.
Thoroughly believe, like like
so your
Batman.
Mom's name is Martha
Bruce
too.
Wayne,
Your mom's name is Martha. My mom's name is Martha.
We should be best friends. I love the. How
you should go get yourself stabbed on a dude.
No, but like Bruce Wayne says it to Clark Kent. He's like, "Oh, Gotham has a long history with freaks dressed like clowns. I want to see that history on screen before
Suicide Squad.
I want to see Robin die.
Yeah, and really
Yeah, it's confirmed that Robin is Jason Todd that got killed.
I
That's why he
genuinely
can't stand the Joker half the time, or just doesn't like.
I genuinely believe that Christopher Nolan really, really, really wanted Christian Bale to be
What's
Bale
weird
to be
though
Batman.
is Christopher Nolan produced Batman v Superman.
Well, that's the thing.
That's why I liked Batman's role in Batman v Superman, because one, it brought him back. He produced it, and then he got because I think Christopher Nolan had a say in the Batman 2 with Zack Snyder, but I don't think Christian Bale was just done. I don't think Christian Bale wanted to stay.
Well,
he wanted to go do other stuff.
I'm pretty sure Christopher Nolan
probably wanted Bale, but he knew it was probably a long shot.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan wanted to connect. I really think if they did connect,
because I think after his trilogy, I think Bale's price went up for how much money he wanted. And I think that's why they were like, hey, let's get Ben Affleck. Like he doesn't ask for a lot of money. We can just quickly sign him. He probably won't stay because, once you play a superhero role, your value goes
up.
Way the fuck up. Like, look at Scarlett Johansson and Robert RDJ and Chris Evans. Like, here, dude,
and Chris Hemsworth.
Like, Robert Downey Jr. says he doesn't ask for a lot of money. It's just studios won't hire him because his agent asks for the money. And it's like, he's like, I don't ask for this. Like, he goes, I just want to be in movies. No, it was Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson's worth a lot of money, even before Marvel. Yeah. So I think it was really hard to get him as Nick Fury. But then he goes, I'm not going to ask for a lot. And Kevin Feige and before Bob Iger too just both looked at each other like, if he's not going to ask for a lot, and they go, if you're sure with playing the role as Nick Fury, he goes, yeah, I'm sure. He goes, they have me in a comic literally as Nick Fury. As Nick Fury in the comic. He goes, of course I'm fine with it. He goes, I don't, and then he loves that role. He always just says he wants Marvel to call him back, and Marvel does.
Yeah,
because he's not going to ask for a lot.
It's really weird because, I'm pretty sure Christian Bale would have been having him be in Batman v Superman after his.
The only reason now I can't see Ben Affleck in Batman v Superman is because Christian Bale is because Ben Affleck's Batman didn't really do a lot of combat, to be honest, like how Ben Affleck's Batman does. Ben Affleck's Batman is like a heavy hitter. Like this man was like putting people in walls, like throwing crates at people. When Ben Affleck or fucking Christian Bale's Batman only just like either used like batarangs and maybe like some like
and then he goes to the Middle East in a dream sequence.
Well, dude, and it's sort of the same.
It's sort of
the same thing that Marvel did because Marvel did 2 Iron Man movies.
Yeah.
Before they did Thor. And that's how they did it was like, all right, we have these 2 movies grounded in reality. They work. Now let's see if we can throw Thor just out of nowhere. Like
let's just tease it. Let's just see what people think.
Not just that. Just make a Thor movie. There are 2 ends of the spectrum, 2 totally different sides of the spectrum. And all that space between Iron Man and Thor, that's the area we can work with in the MCU.
Like, what do you mean, like, make a Thor movie? Or just make them, like, a fantasy movie, kind of, like, in a superhero world?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what you meant by that. Like, hey, let's make a Thor movie.
Once they gauge the amount of space they can... The amount of reality they can work with, like, the amount of, like, genres and stuff, they were like, okay, we made a Thor movie, and it actually did well. All right, how about we do something
World War II movie?
Let's do a World War II movie. Okay, it's
with
sort
Captain
of
America, and
then how about we do a fucking Guardians of the Galaxy movie?
Like, let's just go to space now. Let's just straight up just go even further into space.
Yeah.
Like, let's go check out these losers and see what's up.
And I'm pretty sure that's how I think they should have done the DC universe, because DC, like, I've said this before, a lot of DC is based in the Batman comics.
Oh god, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
A lot of it is based in that small corner of the universe, you know, Batman, all the way up to like Birds of Prey, all that stuff. That's a lot what a lot of people associate DC with. And
This
then you
has
have
been the
Superman.
best Star Wars podcast ever.
Let's just call it movie.